Welcome back to A News. Joining us to discuss the Peace Bridge initiative taking place in Baku is Associate Professor Orhan Valiev, Head of Department at Kaza University in Baku, Azerbaijan. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thanks for the kind invitation. It's my pleasure.
Now, Armenian participants are in Baku for the Peace Bridge talks. How big of a moment is this?
Actually, it's a good news for today. It's a significant step. Why? Because after the outbreak of war in Iran, some experts tried to predict that the war in Iran could have the challenge the peace process between Armenia and Azerbaijan. So therefore, it's significant steps in terms of the peace process between two nations. This is another the interesting point that the delegation that came from through the land for in terms of just delimited and demarcated the section of the border. This is another how to say the critical the issue that has shown that the both country they have some agreements that in terms of demarcation, for example. So this is the good the issue. Personally, I think these the delegations arriving to Azerbaijan they gave us the new the hope for the future of the signing the peace agreement, because the signing the peace agreement is not just the meeting between the leaders of the country. So leaders of the countries is not enough to have the achievement in terms of the peace, the lasting peace agreement. Therefore, the people from the civil societies, let's say the scholars, the journalists and experts, has significant the importance for the future of the peace process. So the peace bridge initiative. I mean, so therefore, I think it's much appreciated the meeting, and I think will bring the positive the steps towards the peace agreement. So this is how to say just in my introduction.
Mm-hmm. Now, this isn't government-level diplomacy. It's civil societies that are involved in these talks. Does it really move the needle in terms of the peace process?
You know, as I emphasized before, the governments, in terms of the government's level, they did the many things. So first of all, they had some bilateral meeting, right, Abu Dhabi last year. And also they came to a meeting under the witness of the US President Donald Trump in DC. So there's initiate the peace, agreed peace draft, right, peace that document. So this is how to say the government's the contribution, the political contribution to the process. Therefore, it is time for civil society's contribution. So, and we need actually civil society's involvement to the process and make a huge contribution, because we have political willingness in terms of the peace agreement. So President Aliyev, let me remind you, just President Aliyev said that the both sides they will not leave this process that we here. So, and then at the beginning of the year, the President Aliyev and also Prime Pashinyan, in terms of different platforms, emphasized that we started to live in peacetime. So we started to work in peacetime, which is just the revolutionary situation in terms of in terms of Azerbaijan and Armenia, that they started to eliminate in any kinds of the challenge intervention to the process between two nations. So in that sense, the civil society's involvement will have huge contribution in terms of involving the societies, because we used to live, unfortunately, under the conflict over the last 3 decades. But now we started to live in peacetime, to work in peacetime. So we started to include our societies in terms of through the civil society's contribution that includes, as I emphasized before, the scholars, experts, journals, and so on. So who don't have direct the connection with the government. So they are because members of civil societies. Therefore, civil society's involvement, contribution is and will be part of the new steps of this peace process, and let me say that it's not easy, of course, because, for example, we have just the war in Iran, but it seems that, yes, we have the political and social will towards achieving the peace agreement.
Now, from Azerbaijan's point of view, what matters most at this current stage?
Actually, Azerbaijan's the priorities, primary requirements was clear at the beginning. Actually, right after the war, right, the Second Karabakh War, in 2022, the foreign minister of Azerbaijan declared a five principles that led the negotiation process that concluded in DC, the Washington summit, and also the broad delegations meeting. So, what is? The recognition of the both countries' territorial integrity, which is based on international law. So demarcation, delimitation, and also open to be open, or the economic and cultural cooperation, and also I think which is critical, important implementation of the corridor that we named after the corridor. So these are just briefly the requirements that came from Azerbaijan, and it seems that politically, the Armenian leaders, Armenian government share these requirements as well. So now we need to make an agreement on these requirements, on these issues, and any other issues in terms of civil society discussions. That will be the critical, will have critical and significant contribution to the process.
Professor Valiev, thank you very much for sharing your time and insights with us today.
It's my pleasure.